here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. We're going to honor our veterans, especially the Mainers who served in World War I. We'll hear some of their stories. Plus, we'll verify, are gummy vitamins as good for you as the regular vitamins?
And the internet almost broke today because Facebook went down for a little bit. Oh yes, this was a big deal. We'll explain why. This is News Center Now. Just an awful situation out on the West Coast, guys. 6 more victims have been discovered, raising the death total to 29 in California's most destructive wildfire on record. It's absolutely awful. Good evening, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
I can't look away from some of the images, and I'm Lindsay Mills. More than 200 people are missing in Northern California's Camp Fire, and then more than 6,000 homes and structures are destroyed. That fire has scorched more than 100,000 acres, and at last check was 25% contained.
In the southern part of the state, close to 400 structures have been gutted from this fire. Another 57,000 are under threat, and that fire is nowhere near being contained. New Hampshire authorities say that the man who shot at police and eluded them for hours overnight, they've caught him. Witnesses reported seeing 27-year-old Christopher Thomas, a homeless man, Sunday afternoon with a rifle in the parking lot of Walmart on Farmington Road.
Thomas reportedly shot at police as they searched for him in the woods. Police say they found him in a clearing next to the Rochester Market Basket off Route 11 around 10:30 this morning. About 80% of adults and teens in the U.S. don't get enough exercise. Now, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has updated its physical activity guidelines. Officials say children should get an hour or more of moderate to vigorous activity a day.
For adults, you should be aiming for about 150 to 300 minutes of moderate or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous activity each week. You should be doing muscle strengthening exercises at least 2 days a week. The new guidelines also suggest that even brief bouts of activity like climbing a flight of stairs is beneficial. As we honor those who have sacrificed so much for our freedom, we are also marking the 100-year anniversary of the end of World War I.
But for the Mainers who served, it was the start of a waiting game because it would be another year until those who survived returned home again. Captain Jonathan Bratton is the Maine National Guard historian, and tonight he's sharing stories of the men and women of Maine who served.
The University of Maine had its entire band actually enlist in World War I as part of the 2nd Maine Infantry to be the only college band in the U.S. Army to go fight in World War I.
Little bits of World War I influenced Maine in some big ways. That's according to Captain Jonathan Bratton, the Maine National Guard historian.
There's just so many stories.
Bratton says the threat from unrestricted submarine warfare that Germany was waging was felt even by Mainers who remained home.
So they're reading in the newspapers about these Maine schooners that are being sunk. And they know people who are aboard these vessels, and so it is very real.
He says out of the 2,002 Mainers who left their homes to fight in World War I, around half had been killed or wounded or went missing. But for those who did return home, their dedication and service pressed on. Many Maine veterans of World War I ran for office.
William Southard from Bangor, who was a battalion commander with the 103rd Infantry, who apparently went into the attack at the Second Battle of the Marne, leading his battalion with a cigar in his teeth, a swagger stick in one hand, and a bottle of cognac in the other. And in this attack, he would be wounded. He would become the representative from Bangor to sit in the Maine State Legislature.
And 100 years ago, times were tough. Back here at home, the Spanish flu was raging and killed thousands of Mainers. You can catch much more of this interview with Maine Army National Guard historian Captain Jonathan Bratton in an all-new episode of Bill Green's Maine this Saturday night.
All right, today, weather, gorgeous, right? Went outside. I mean, it was cold this morning, but the sun was nice, and I feel like this is going to be short-lived. I feel like he's going to ruin this for us.
It is.
He's got the look.
Well, that's just my face. There's nothing to be done about that. But we're on the 2-storm-a-week plan, guys, and the first one starts tonight into tomorrow. Right now, temperatures dropping fast. 32 in Wiscasset, 32 in Rockland, 35 in Waterville, and 30 in Rangeville. Look at this, a whole mess to our south and west. Very similar to the last 2 or even 3 storms. I'm trying trying to think back, where we had a low here and a secondary piece of energy, and then they join together and take a kind of inside runner track for us, giving us rain along the coastline but snow into the mountains. And you can kind of see all this rain down here and then the snow over northern parts of Pennsylvania. So that line will kind of hold as it moves into the state. So we have a couple of winter storm watches, winter storm warning, I should say, here for the mountains, and then we have winter weather advisory in the shaded purple area. So two different levels of advisory there, and the warning is the stronger of the two. So we cloud up fast tonight. Temperatures rise a bit. Here comes the rain along the coastline, 2-3 in the morning. Snow in the mountains and foothills. I think the rain snow line will be about Lewiston, Augusta, but quickly push farther north into the foothills through the middle of the day on Tuesday. Really heavy rain here through mid-morning, early afternoon along the coastline, heavy snow over northern Maine. And then we lift this thing out of here. Unfortunately, at this point, the sun has set. So tomorrow is pretty much garbage from start to finish as far as that goes. And then Wednesday's a nice sunny day, but colder. Lee, you got a couple of things you're really going to enjoy, I think. Single-digit lows and the possibility of snow all the way to the coastline this week. So I'll be back if you let me come back in a few minutes.
Stone cold.
Got nothing to say. Sometimes a veteran in need could certainly use more than just a handshake.
Samantha York sat down with two veterans to talk about what resources are available and why it's not always easy to ask for help.
So this is me at boot camp.
At just 17 years old, Mary Swanson decided to trade in her civilian clothes for camis.
My cover's crooked, I look ridiculous.
Between 2009 and 2017, Mary would deploy, have 2 children, and be promoted to sergeant in the United States Marine Corps.
At one point, I had 200 Marines under my charge, and that was probably the best times of my life in the Marine Corps, was being a sergeant.
But when she got out in February of 2017, things changed.
At first, it didn't seem different, and suddenly things in my life are falling apart. It's not like the military, where when the things start to fall apart, you turn to your first sergeant or you turn to your platoon sergeant. All of a sudden there was no one to turn to.
That's when she found Stephen White and other veterans struggling with very similar things.
It boils down to one, stigma. Veterans don't want to ask for help, especially about something so personal as how they're coping with some wartime or military trauma.
White is part of the Maine Student Veterans Alliance, an organization aimed at giving vets the tools they need to transition back into everyday society. The group uses a Veterans Helping Veterans approach to help them finish their degrees and get out into the workforce.
We want to identify the gaps and fill them so that the student veterans are finishing their degrees and giving back to the community.
Little by little, this support system is helping veterans like Mary find themselves again, and she hopes others who may be struggling will take advantage of resources in their own communities.
Most of these organizations, veterans are working for. And so you're going to be talking to a veteran who probably dealt with the exact same issue, and they're going to understand.
Reminding us we are the land of the free because of the brave. But sometimes even the brave need a little extra support. In Portland, Samantha York, News Center, Maine.
The Maine Students Veterans Alliance is just one of dozens of resources available to help our veterans across the state. If you want to learn more about it or others in your community, head to our website or mobile app.
A New England native who was murdered by terrorists while reporting overseas will be honored in his home state. The New Hampshire Supreme Court Society is holding a life and liberty ceremony and will honor James Foley tomorrow, the American journalist from Rochester, New Hampshire. Foley was covering the Syrian civil war when he was kidnapped in northern Syria. For 10 months, he was held hostage before becoming the first U.S. hostage to be killed by the Islamic State in a violent beheading.
Not long after his death, his mother, Diane Foley, started a foundation in his name to raise awareness and support the work of freelance journalists like her son. We spoke with her earlier this month ahead of a fundraiser for the foundation.
In conflict zones, more and more of the bigger corporations are aware that they don't want their staff people going in country. They know how dangerous it is. So it's creating black holes, if you will. It's creating parts of the world that nobody knows anything about. If we stop reporting the truth, people won't know. And then freedom is at risk.
And part of the mission of the New Hampshire Supreme Court Society is to showcase the importance of civics education in schools. To see more of my interview with Diane Foley, visit our website or mobile app.
So all these stories so far obviously really important in what's going on today, but they pale in comparison to what really has everybody talking today. That was sarcasm, just so you're clear. Facebook was down. Oh no, not that.
Is right. Okay, the most popular, arguably, I think the most popular social network went down. I think it is the most popular.
Long enough.
Okay, it's down earlier this afternoon. It's okay. Showing users who tried to access the site broken error messages that say, like, sorry, something went wrong, we're working on it, and we'll get it fixed as soon as we can. The outage only lasted 30 minutes, and okay, guys, we all survived. People passed the time in other ways, like using Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. No, we had to talk to each other face to face, right?
What? That's blasphemy. How could that possibly happen? Yeah, we all made it through. We should try it for like an hour tomorrow and do in half-hour increments each day.
Okay.
Until we get to 24 hours straight of no Facebook.
It is refreshing to just like put the phone down and have a conversation. It helps my Fitbit too if I get up and walk
helps
over.
Everybody. Okay, that's enough for right now though. Coming up, Stan Lee, one of the creators of Marvel Comics, passed away today. We will talk about his amazing legacy.
And are gummy vitamins as good as the pill vitamins? Parents, you want to hear from our Verify team on this one. How are everybody on Facebook? You got it, Bill.
So Paul, David, Claudette.
Somebody I saw was watching from somewhere fun. Where was it?
Universal Studios in Florida.
Yeah, Margaret. That's awesome.
Nice.
That's kind of a big deal that you're at such a cool place and you're still watching.
That is customer loyalty.
That is cool. Claudette, they do make the ultimate sacrifice. Paul says, as a nation, we need to do better to help veterans. Fred's wondering how we are tonight. Fred, we're doing great. Awesome. All right. So we're just going to start off here with some of those celebrity tweets.
Oh, sure.
And then we'll get right into it. Yeah. You got it. Very good. How was your weekend?
It was good, yeah.
Yeah.
What did I even do this weekend?
I'm the same way. On Monday, people are like, how was your weekend? I'm like,
sorry.
I remember cleaning the house.
Yeah. Right? I know. That's like one of the like weekend chores.
You want me to behind her like this, Billy? Until we bring in Mick, and then I can kind of step up.
I saw Overlord. That was good.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are talking about Bohemian Rhapsody.
I saw that last weekend. That
was it
also
good?
Very good?
Yeah.
A little, I don't know. It's like, it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. I got you.
The movie that matters is coming out on the 20th of November.
What movie is that?
Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Creed 2.
Oh, I thought you were going to say The Nutcracker.
Where Apollo Creed's son takes on Drago's son.
That
Drago.
That's going to be
That
good.
does sound good, yeah.
Drago.
And Michael B. Jordan is amazing.
He's awesome.
He can literally play every role. Like, he's just so good.
He was arguably better than, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, you're fine. Better than what?
Better than the protagonist in Black Panther.
Yeah. He was good in Friday Night Lights. I guess he was in like All My Children too. Like Karen says, she used to see him in the soap opera, so he's been around.
Huh.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Stand by.
Oh boy.
Do you have the thingy?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I have this thingy here. Is that helpful?
Whatever you want to do. I don't care. We're on 10. Stan Lee, the cultural icon responsible for Marvel Comics, has died at the age of 95.
Celebrities reacting to the news on Twitter. Elon Musk writing, "Rest in peace. The many worlds of imagination and delight you created for humanity will last forever." Gail Simone tweets, "Especially all my love and support goes to my friends at Marvel today. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for being the next runners in the best of all possible relays. And now I am going to ugly cry for a good while. Be be nice to each other today, please.
Ryan Reynolds said, R.I.P. Stan, thank you for everything. And our own Pat Callahan, huge comic book fan, R.I.P. the great Stan Lee. Thanks for all of the wonderful stories. So certainly a sad day for fans all around the world. And now we want to talk about it. Mick Pratt is here from Bull Moose. And, you know, for those who just didn't know who Stan Lee was, but they certainly know what Marvel Comics is there a way to like equate him to somebody that would be like Paul McCartney? Like, is there an equitable?
McCartney is the Stan Lee of the Beatles.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I mean Stan Lee and together with Jack Kirby is just like incredibly important. He's the father of the modern comic book as we know it, because he kind of took characters and stories and added more human elements, and he added characters that had like flaws instead of weaknesses, right? Because Superman, he can do whatever he wants, but he's defeated by kryptonite. But the characters Stan Lee writing, you know, they had to deal with prejudice and poverty and alcoholism and depression and post-traumatic stress syndrome, and that was, I mean, that's really powerful for people to be able to see more of themselves in the characters and be like, you know, there's this thing about me that's challenging, but I can still be a hero like Spider-Man, Iron Man, the Hulk, etc., etc.
And that's how fans were able to resonate with him.
Yeah.
I've seen today a lot of people use the term global superhero. So, I mean,
Certainly.
Where do you think that title comes from?
I mean, the thing about Stan, right, is that it wasn't just that he wrote all these incredible stories, but he seemed to be really, you know, care about the fans and care about the medium. I mean, you know, later on in that same thread from Gail Simone, she said that whenever somebody met him, you could tell that it was a very genuine love, not just of the stories that he was writing, but of the fans that were reading these stories. And you could tell that, you know, I don't know, there was just something really special about that connection. And, you know, you always worry about meeting your idols and meeting your heroes and they turn out to be real jerks. But by all accounts, Stan Lee was just a completely nice guy through and through, loved the fans, loved the stories. And, you know, I mean, he lived a full life, certainly, but it's hard.
And obviously a lot of this stuff was done a long time ago, yet had a resurgence recently where it became popular again in movie form, and a lot of those comic books turned into movie figures.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of like human element and that representation that he brought to comics is something that we're seeing a lot of now. You know, you have comics that are more sort of representative of culture and society and as a whole. So you have like, you know, more African American superheroes. You have a Muslim superhero, women superheroes, and all these people who previously didn't always see themselves in mass media finally get to see that, and that's, you know, that's his legacy. That's what he wanted.
Very good. Well, Mick, thank you so much for stopping by today and sharing some of your insight into this. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
All right, still ahead on News Center now, we're going to see if gummy vitamins stand up to other forms of, you know, vitamins.
And, well, I was outvoted, so Keith's coming back.
Did we lock the ballots, though?
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like I learned a little bit about Stan Lee from our interview, so that's good.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah. Have a great day. Thanks for coming in.
That was my next question, but then you answered before I asked it.
Yeah.
Not only were people thanking him for his work, they were all thanking him because they had met him and had some personal interaction with him, that he was a special person, not just his work was special, you know what I mean? And then you
I gotta get my thing.
I was just about to ask that, and then you said it.
Oh, wait. There might be one. Is there one over there?
Actually, not asked yet, answered.
No.
So
I think it's this one.
I'll take the mic for you.
I think it's over here.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Double duty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh. Dee-dee. All right. Do you want to ad-lib this?
I don't even know what it is.
We're tossing to gummies. Good job running the prompter in an interview. I'm like, this is going to be interesting.
I got you. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just make it up.
Okay. You want me to start?
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Oh, sorry, Facebook. We just got a whole minute here.
I know, we got a whole minute.
Could have been talking to you.
That was very interesting. Okay, how about we ask this? Favorite Marvel superhero?
What's up, Josiah?
I'd be very curious to hear what people have to say.
Paul, I did not know that.
What'd you learn?
That Stan Lee was a subject of To Tell the Truth. You don't remember that show, but it's pretty cool.
Oh.
I did not know that.
There you go. There you go, there you go. Christmas music already in my ear.
I know, I hear that.
I'm not ready, guys. Not even if it's a hip hop Christmas song.
Although
Still.
I do like the song, but it's a little early.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Don't you think gummy vitamins taste like candy? Asking for a friend.
Right, yeah, not because you eat them all the time, but if you did, hypothetically, are they as good for you as pills or chewable vitamins? We wanted to verify, so here we go.
Perhaps this is where the idea came from, the popular Yummy Gummy Bear candy. Put down the pills, pull out the gummies, and we won't complain about taking our vitamins.
Definitely more convenient.
And why is that?
Because I do not take pills. I cannot swallow them, so chewing them is a lot easier for me.
It's just something about the gummies that it's just the way it tastes and the texture.
We went to CHKD registered dietitian Carly Clement to get the goods on gummies. Are they just as beneficial as the pills or chewable vitamins?
Not really.
So that's a bad thing.
The pill or the chewable form has a higher nutrient content.
And Clement says because of the way a gummy is processed, manufacturers can't get as many nutrients inside. She did a direct comparison between Flintstone chewables versus gummies.
The chewables had 17 vitamins and minerals, whereas the Flintstone gummies had 10.
And when comparing vitamin C, the gummy had 38% of the daily value, while the chewables had 70% of the daily value. As for the vitamins that can't be broken down in gummy form,
iron is a big one. You won't see any type of gummy vitamin with iron.
And that's huge.
Yes, especially for prenatal or for children, it is definitely huge.
We also went to the Health Food Center in Norfolk, where their shelves are packed with vitamins. Carla Reese is our expert.
They are better than nothing, but you don't get everything that you would get in a regular high-quality multivitamin.
Like the one we crack open here.
You get a lot of nutrients packed in here, and it's going to give you a lot more energy than you're going to get from a gummy.
And even though their Nordic Berries gummy are natural by skipping the artificial coloring, they're still coated with sugar because manufacturers add sugar to the gummies for a better taste.
They're using organic sugar, but it is in there for sure.
So bottom line, gummies are good for something, but we can verify that they are not as beneficial as pills or chewables.
Gummy bear.
Now, I have a moderate to average friend who once advised me that these vitamins really aren't good for you. Anyway, like they're not awful, but they're not great, and you could skip them and it's not going to make a difference. So weigh in, moderate to average friend.
Yeah, so my mom's a nutritionist, and you'll find if you look this up, the studies have shown that for the average North American person, you get those vitamins every day, 100%. And so it's really for people who are malnourished, which is uncommon, luckily, in this country. So you don't need them. You really don't. And if you get over 100% of something, you pee it out. So it doesn't do you any good. But the only one, prenatal's still a thing.
Yeah,
that is one that the doctors will still recommend. But most doctors you will find will not recommend a multivitamin because you get it in your food. And if not, you need to adjust your food. Okay. Says the guy who weighs 165 pounds. Okay, let's take a look at our next storm system to the south and west here. It's largely rain right now, but it'll mix into some snow into the mountains and foothills as it approaches. So the National Weather Service has issued 2 different advisories here. Winter weather advisory in the shaded blue there, and then in the pink, that's really more purple, I guess. And then in the pink is a winter storm warning, which is the greater of the 2, meaning this is the area with most significant chances of 6+ inches of snow. It's pretty chilly out there right now. Temperatures will kind of flatline, though, through much of the night as clouds increase from southwest to northeast. And then the precipitation will start while most of us are sleeping here, especially over southwestern Maine and into the mid-coast. By about 2, 3 in the morning, 4 o'clock, it's raining along the coastline. It's snowing into some of the higher terrain here. And I think the rain-snow line is basically right in the Lewiston, Augusta area and then pushes northwest quickly by tomorrow morning. Snows in the mountains through most of the day, rains along the coastline heavily at times with some gusty winds, so the same deal we've seen the last couple of storms continues through 3, 4 o'clock. After the sun sets, it moves out, but tomorrow's just not a nice day. Now Wednesday's a better looking day, but it's chilly. We start in some areas in the teens, only get to around 30 for a high. Even along the coastline, get to only 20s at best in the mountains, maybe some teens. So very cold, and that sets us up for a very chilly morning on Thursday. Before we get there though, here's your snowfall amounts for tomorrow. About an inch washed away, Augusta, Lewiston, Bangor, 1 to 3 in the foothills. Almost the same map we had with the last storm, 6 to 8 over the mountains in northern Maine. Take a look though at Thursday morning. Lee, pay attention. 12 in Portland, 10 in Lewiston, 2 in Rangeley, 5 in Greenville. I'm just glad you're not holding out for the heat anymore, because it'd been over. So that cold, Lee,
I'm really paying attention.
It's like so annoying.
That cold sets us up for our next storm system, which comes in a Thursday night and Friday. Lee, are you watching this too? Because there might be some snow on Friday all the way to your house. So I just want you to pay attention. All right, so it's going to be real wintry. I think what's really going to hit people pretty hard, honestly, if it snows at the coast, that's a big deal. But Thursday morning, 10, 12 degrees near the water, single digits inland. And then if it does snow on Friday, it's not unheard of, certainly, to snow this time of November. But we've been staving it off along the coastline for the last couple storms, and our luck might be running out.
So for those of you asking me every time I see you, is he really like this in person too? The answer is yes.
Is he the worst all the time?
The online trolling is also real life trolling. Just so you know.
Consistent.
Yeah.
I'm consistent.
Very consistent. And guess what? He gets to come back with more.
Exactly. We'll be right back.
10 days, brother. Thanksgiving is in 10 days, not 6. Although, if you want to have Thanksgiving in 6 days, you totally can, and then have it again in 10 days.
You just went 8 around.
Yeah, I know. I saw that and I was like, oh, it made me nervous. It made me panic on the inside.
Oh, that Keith.
Don't you guys feel like everything happens all at one time? Like the holidays, and then all of a sudden, like your calendar gets like jam-packed again with things.
Well, and
that aren't even holiday related.
Are celebrators of the Festival of Lights. Chanukah is early this year. It starts on December 2nd.
I know. Can you believe
so
that?
So it's right after Thanksgiving, and then it goes straight to Hanukkah, and then it's like straight to Christmas,
right?
And then it's the New Year, and then all of a sudden you're like halfway through January. Go, what happened?
Right.
So
I was talking with some friends over the weekend about. Oh, Lee, what's this?
I'm actually not sure. Oh, that's from a Sea Dogs game.
What is that for?
I don't actually know why that's there, but it's from a Sea Dogs game forever ago.
Huh.
Why that's there, I don't know. I don't know what Braindrops is about. I guess we're about to find out.
I guess we're gonna find out. Okay, so we were talking about like how really we need another holiday that's like before Easter and Passover and between Valentine's Day.
So between February and April?
Yeah, like just so everything, and I know Easter and Passover kind of fall in that time, but like we just need something, like it's so much where it's like Thanksgiving and Christmas back to back. Like I know so many people that already have their Christmas trees up, and that's great, but it's just like
that seems early.
I'm
sorry. I love Christmas, but okay, what is it that we're doing here besides representing the United States Coast Guard with that shirt? Oh, okay. Trying to figure out why that picture was there.
Did you get a haircut? It looks shorter today. I don't know why.
Jess, your hair. It looks amazing.
It does look so good.
What did you do to it?
She has good hair days every day.
It rained and she went outside, so now it's clean? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Can we stop badgering her over her appearance? Okay. Okay, I'm going to make this quick because we have to. So basically, social media, like selfies, particularly visual media, posting yourself, how does that correlate to narcissism?
Oh, please tell me we have time to talk about
you
this.
too take more selfies than I do.
I don't take my kids.
No?
Okay.
All right, we already had an argument about this. Okay, so just a study now between social media use, particularly visual and taking selfies, and being a narcissist, but specifically they have tests for both. How much social media do you use, and are you a narcissist? They took college kids, perfect demo, about 22 years old. They followed them. What they found is interesting in that it's not just if you're a narcissist you post. They actually found that the more they posted of themselves, the more narcissistic they became, because they felt like it was centered around them and the feedback they got and whatnot. So previous studies had done it the other way. Okay, you're narcissistic, do you like to post? Well, it turns out as they increased their posting, they tested higher and higher on this score. So Lee and Lindsay, I just was wondering if maybe you guys
really
have some. What are your score levels?
Now I don't want to tell tales out of school.
I was just thinking in my head, what's my best selfie?
#1 poster of selfies, News Center Maine, is this guy.
Yeah, but you had your shirt on.
It's not even close. He's first, second, and third.
Where's the dad selfie?
Thank you for that.
Where's the topless?
I take shirtless pictures. They're not. Are they selfies if they're in a mirror?
Nobody wants to hear this.
I don't know.
News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now. I was wondering why that was there. No way. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
They have to search for one for you guys.
I'm so happy you used that one.